Which brings us to the Mueller witch hunt, targeting the former Trump campaign chairman in an Arlington, Virginia court for a 9th day, an abbreviated day of testimony in the trial of Paul Manafort. Prosecutors supposed to wrap up their case today, but that won't happen now until Monday. That's because there was a mysterious 5-hour delay in the trial today. Judge T.S. Ellis offering no explanation for what had happened or why. So much for the rocket docket. Ellis finally instructing prosecutors to call their first witness in the afternoon, but the jury hadn't quite been brought back to the courtroom yet. Ellis saying, quote, "Oh, yes, I keep forgetting." This follows more whining from prosecutors. The special counsel, a delicate bunch apparently, filing a motion that the judge was once again too hard on the government attorneys, delicate fellows they are, out of line for criticizing the way they questioned a witness yesterday. Ah, Judge, you're a patient man. If you have a problem with a judge, who do you call? Well, you call the judge. Judge Jeanine Pirro joins us now, host of Justice with Judge Jeanine on the Fox News channel, author of the #1 New York Times bestselling book, Liars, Leakers, and Liberals, the case against the anti-Trump conspiracy. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Lou.
A mysterious 5-hour interregnum in the proceedings in that courtroom, no explanation, and apparently the prosecutors are just a little beside themselves at the rough treatment by Judge Ellis.
Well, you know, this delay, Lou, for 5 hours is certainly contrary to the rocket docket that Judge T.S. Elliott is running in terms of this court. And I know that as a judge, one of the things that's most important is to move the case along and not be burdened down with motions or whatever they dealt with for 5 hours. I can only suspect that what they dealt with had to do with one of two things. The crying prosecutors who don't like that the judge is pushing them hard and calling them babies for tearing up, or there was an issue about the $9.5 million or $16 million loan that Paul Manafort got as a result of, they say, his getting involved in the Trump campaign, and therefore the president of the bank thought, well, I'll give him this $16 million loan, and I need to know if I'm being considered for a position in the Treasury, or I think it was HUD. And I'm saying to myself, everybody who works with someone who works on a presidential campaign thinks they're up for a cabinet position. What a fool.
Well, perhaps Secretary of the Army. I mean, whatever the issue may be, this is a trial that is certainly contentious, but most of that contentiousness is between the judge and the special counsel team. And we're watching, it seems to me, the defense just sort of hold their powder dry and wait for their moment rather than even enlarge, if you will, the cross-examination opportunities.
Well, think about this. You've got this guy, T.S. Elliott, who runs the rocket docket, all right? He is now trying a case with the special counsel that involves all kinds of additional motions, all kinds of arguments, because we're talking about the special counsel, Mueller, Russia. And this is a tax case where apparently they had looked at it a few years back, didn't think it was worth bringing, and now Ellis knows he's being used as leverage to convict Paul Manafort so they can squeeze him to go after the president.
But not doing a thing about it. After all of his statements at the outset preceding this trial, he declared basically what to me seems to be the reality, as you just described it. Using leverage, going after Manafort to get to the president of the United States, summing up in one sentence, really, the judge did. Precisely what the special counsel is about, what these attorneys as members of the special counsel represent. And it's a shame. Yet what he has done here is absolutely nothing to create equity in that courtroom.
Well, there's no equity in the courtroom, and everyone knows that this has nothing to do with Russia, the president, or anyone else. So why are we wasting time in this courtroom with all of these? I call it super due process. When you've got a case where the national media is involved, there's super due process, and it takes more and more time. And you know what? Our justice system is so backlogged. I mean, it's ridiculous. And this judge is frustrated and angry, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, and with all of that frustration and that anger, one would expect there to be some sort of intercession here on his part with those attorneys, because he's talked to them about their rolling their eyes. He's talked to them about keep putting their heads down. He's even put up with back talk from an attorney who I think should have been lifted out of the court by the nape of his neck.
Well, look, a judge, any tough judge who runs his or her courtroom, if someone rolled their eyes at me and the jury caught wind of that, that means that I've lost control of the courtroom. And so this judge cannot be pushed back by the prosecutors who are pushing back and criticizing him. He's got to put his stake in the ground and make sure that they understand you don't cross this line. And that's the only way he's going to be respected by the jury as well as these prosecutors.
When the judge said, as he did yesterday, that perhaps he'd been too tough on the prosecutors. Is that the point at which he lost control of this proceeding?
Yeah, I think anybody who's got any common sense says, I wonder what happened in the back room, who told him what. Very unusual, because here's the thing, Lou. If there is no conviction, the prosecution cannot appeal. So maybe the judge is trying to be very fair, you know, just to get out there and say to the jury, I don't take a position. All he had to do, Judge, all you had to do was tell the jury, I take no position on this case. You go into that deliberation room and you decide the facts based upon the law and the evidence that you heard.
And day 10, Monday, in the trial of Paul Manafort. Judge Jeanine, great to have you here as always. Thanks so much.